and we're joined by John Barr, the People's Party of Canada candidate in Kelowna-Lake Country. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Kent.
So, the People's Party. From what I've read about your party, it seems like the number one issue tends to be immigration. That's the one that Maxime Bernier, the founder of your party, brings up the most. Is that a motivating issue for you?
I think responsible immigration, and I'm not sure whether or not that is the primary issue that I'm getting from constituents here, but it is an issue that I'd say it's the top three, certainly, yeah. So our policy with immigration is that we want to have immigration that's sustainable, that is numbers that we can bring in that we can ensure are contributing to Canadians' welfare and to the welfare of the people coming into Canada as well. So the numbers of 350,000, which I believe are the Liberal and Conservative numbers, they're challenged by the People's Party of Canada and saying that we want to reduce those approximately half to about 150,000 and change the content of the immigration of the people coming in. I think the number is right now at 26% of the immigrants coming in are actually qualified to fit into jobs. So we want to bring people that are coming into our country that are going to ensure that they're contributing to the economy of Canada and benefiting all of Canadians. One of the things that the People's Party of Canada is promoting in their immigration party is that every person that's coming into Canada as an immigrant will have a face-to-face interview with someone that can vet their values.
Right.
And I understand that is a difficult thing, but I think it's the responsibility of our government to be careful about people and people's values in our society.
If we really limit the numbers, what sort of suffering are we allowing to continue by not taking more people in? Is there not any concern about those people?
That's a hard choice. And that's one of the things as well with the People's Party of Canada, that I think it's presenting these issues in honesty, that these are difficult decisions that we have to make. We have enough issues here in our own country. We need to take care of our house first, our family first. Canadians are very generous, including myself. I would like to help other people. My first responsibility is to my family, and I think that the Canadian government's first responsibility is to its citizens.
You do run into people who are intolerant of people of other cultures.
Yes.
There are people, that you run into who are really racist. And the unfortunate thing about having a policy that kind of restricts immigration is that your party would tend to attract people who are of that mind.
Well, that may be the case. Individuals have different reasons for joining the party an awful lot. I think we've been very strong in condemning racism, in saying that component is that part of our population, which I believe does exist, is not welcome within our party.
I'm not sure to what extent whatever comes out of Maxime Bernier's mouth is policy, but we hear him being more dismissive about some of the concerns that we see about climate change. If we're to listen to him, it's not the crisis that we're hearing other people describe it as. Do you share his views that this issue shouldn't be considered a crisis?
I share his views that the alarmism that we see in this election and that's not helpful. It's the politicizing of this issue, and the idea that there's an overwhelming consensus of scientists that agree that climate change is man-made and is going to effectively, our world's going to be destroyed in 12 to 15 years in a fireball. I don't see that that's an overwhelming consensus in the scientific community.
Right.
I'm not a scientist, but I know that there's enough contrary opinions to that that I think that they need to be entertained. And like we talked earlier, well, maybe that debate has already happened and we've closed the book on that. But I think science always needs to be revisited. And that's one of the things that the advent of the People's Party over the last year, and that being a key distinguishing policy from all the other major parties, I think that identifies that there's people in Canada that although they agree that our climate may be changing, it's not going to be something that we're going to fall off the map with. And in thinking about that, in thinking about as we push that narrative that the climate's going to be destroyed, how does that affect our younger generation? How does that undermine their ability to seize the moment and look towards their future? I can see it can really erode and corrode inside them their hope for a future. And I believe that they're entitled to that.
How do you feel yourself? You've never been a politician before. You work in the oil patch.
I do.
That brings a little something to the table, doesn't it?
When Maxime Bernier, in 2010, this is where he rolled out what eventually manifested itself as this party. What he was asking people to do was think about politics different, and he was looking for people. He was wanting to use people that were authentic and genuine. And I really hesitate to use that because I don't want to label other people as not that way.
Yeah.
But the House of Commons is for common people, and I'm in favor of people that perhaps have a little bit more dirt under their fingernails to become involved in politics. Like I said, my journey, how I've got here, it's a quick ride, but it's such a fulfilling thing to take part in a democracy.
Right.
And I hope that I think that the working class person hasn't had a representative for quite some time, and maybe I'm it, maybe I'm not, but
right.
You can take a look at our policies and take a look at me and see whether or not you think you'd like to vote for me.
It sounds to me like your experience as you've just turned into a politician here in this context is that you've clearly contributed to the discussion around these tables, and win or lose, you're getting something out of it yourself, would you say?
Oh, definitely. This is just, this is a privilege and a responsibility to do, and it's sobering, and it helps me, it helps me see the complexities of these issues, I think, and take them very soberly, because if you're going to represent a community like Kelowna-Lake Country, you're going to have to be able to listen to an awful lot of people and try to do a good job of that representation.
Terrific. It was great getting to know you better. John
Thanks,
Barr,
Ken.
People's Party, and thank you for watching Kelowna Now.